Welcome to John Essex Sports Channel for League One Easter Monday predictions. And because you all said you hated the one before, I'm going to return to the format that I did with Barnsley-Peterborough first. And we'll go Barnsley-Peterborough. Now, Barnsley are in 11th place on 57 points, and typically, they're 6th place Reading, 69 points. I think realistically, they're well on the beach, aren't they? Against Peterborough side, 16th, 48 points, and of course, the Mickey Mouse Shield winners for this year. So well done, Peterborough. It's a very good final day out. That bit of it I really enjoy, and I enjoyed the game. They really did play well. It looked like they just wanted it more to me. Just wanted it that little bit more than what Birmingham seemed to be doing. They seem to rest their players, and they just put a team out that should win it because they're better. But that desire didn't seem to be there for me. Let's see about the last games then. For Barnsley, it's a lose, draw, lose, win. But wasn't it a win? 4-1 win at home to Bolton Wanderers, and it should have been a lot more than that. Peterborough, it's win, lose, win. And of course, we have done these predictions for Easter Friday, which is today. As we film this video, please do like and subscribe. Now, it's a different kettle of fish though for me, this game. This game is going to be a little bit more even. I think by the time we get to Easter Monday, we're going to see a lot more tired legs, and this Peterborough side, I think, will start to just that brilliant feeling from Wembley will slowly start to sink away, a little bit like the Plymouth game when they won Liverpool, and then they thrashed Millwall the game after, and then the game after that they just disappeared back into their usual poor play. And I think that's what we'll probably see from this Peterborough side. They have been getting better slowly. They've had a great few days. And I think that by Friday they'll still be feeling that euphoria, but I think by Monday the tired legs and the euphoria will set in, or the lack of euphoria will set in, because Barnsley they lost 6-2 away at Birmingham. And it could have been more than that, really could. But equally, it could have been a draw. They really did come back in that game. And it shows you their fight, and it shows you their resilience. And it was away at Birmingham as well. I just think that this Barnsley side, this never say die attitude will be quite good. And they know what to expect with Peterborough. So I think, whereas Birmingham, new to League One, probably didn't expect what they got from that Peterborough side. Barnsley will. Barnsley absolutely will know. Peterborough, let's have another look at their last few games. I think Birmingham appeared far too many times in these last 12 games, don't they? Both can let in goals, both can score goals. I think this could be a high-scoring game. I'm actually going to go really, really strange here. I'm going to go with Barnsley 3, Peterborough 2. I just think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. Blackpool then next. Blackpool versus Wrexham. Blackpool are in 10th on 60 points. Just 9 points away from Reading. I think they're on the beach, but there's too many sides above them for me they'd all have to do badly. I think they're on the beach well and truly, and they're against Wrexham, who are second in 82 points, with 82 points, 1 point above Wycombe Wanderers. I think that it's a game that Wrexham will certainly want to win. However, we know Blackpool at home are absolutely staunch. That defence can be really, really good. And from what I've seen, Wrexham aren't that great when they come up against a team that's absolutely brilliant in defence. And I can see this one being one of those games that just sticks this Wrexham side like the Wigan one did last time out. Let's have a look at the Blackpool side. 2-1 defeat last time out against Rotherham United, with Jake Beasley sent off on 89 minutes. Suspensions will always be an issue at this end of the season, as will tired legs. Blackpool had they played reasonably well in that game. Let's just look at the statistics for that. For Blackpool, 58% possession, 12 shots, 4 on target though, whereas Rotherham had 14 shots, 10 on target. So it was end to end. One goal out of 4 shots on target. So they really did do pretty much what the stats would expect. Wrexham last time out, Wigan 0-0, and this game Wrexham 58% possession, 4 shots, none on target. Wigan parking the bus, taking them on the break. 0-0. It should have been a Wigan win, to be quite honest. They're not very good when you get a side that's really staunch in defence and really puts them back. They're not always good. Sometimes they are. They're not always good against a staunch defending side. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Blackpool 0, Wrexham 0. So we start with a 0-0 draw amongst the first 2 games there. Bristol Rovers versus Stevenage. And we've got Bristol Rovers, who are, I think, improving, to be quite honest. They've done 1 or 2 really good games. They're in 21st position, though, with 42 points. They've been playing really, really poorly. And of late, you're just seeing this little twinge that sees they actually can improve quickly and reasonably enough to get out of this. They're equal with Burton on in 20th, but they have Burton have minus 15 goal difference and Bristol Rovers has minus 26. So this is going to be almost certainly a points-based thing. It's not going to be goal difference, is it? Stevenage in 14th on 52 points on the beach. So Bristol Rovers lose, lost the last 5-0, last 6, 5-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1. But they have been playing a little bit better. And we look at that last game, Exeter, Bristol Rovers, 56% possession, brilliant possession. And they got 15 shots from it, so they weren't just pulled in defence or in their own half like Sheffield United were last game out. These were actually getting into the final third and shooting. But 15 shots, 2 on target, 1 in the net. You need to get more on target, guys. But yeah, they have been playing an awful lot better. Exeter squeezed this one. 44% possession, 5 shots, 3 on target and 2 in the net. I am going fast because I know that the last one you dislike me going for an hour and 20 minutes. Stevenage, lose, draw, lose, win, lose. The last time out, 1-0 defeat away at Wickham, and Wickham scored in 90 plus 1 minutes. I really thought that Stevenage would get that point, and 43% possession to Stevenage, 9 shots, 2 on target, none in the net. You know, they one more shot and they probably would have got a goal. They just looked like they could score at any minute, but they just didn't. And I think that's, for me, you know, it's going to be difficult because I can see both sides being able to win this one 1-0. So it could be 1-0 either way, but I'm going to sit on the fence and go Bristol Rovers 1, Stevenage 1, but it could be either way. So we've done the Bristol Rovers. Let's do Burton versus Birmingham. Welcome, Birmingham fans. Here we are, Birmingham. This is where we start. Burton versus Birmingham. Can Birmingham get above 100 points on Easter Monday? Absolutely they can. They're playing a Burton side in 20th position with 42 points. They're there on goal difference from the relegation zone. They really, really, really have to try and get something from this game. Burton Albion lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. Last time out, 3-0 win against Huddersfield. And they actually played really, really well. They got a 9th minute goal and never looked back in that game. Burton Albion, 35% possession at home. Wow. 16 shots though. What a hell of a ratio that is. And 6 of them on target. And 3 in the net. For 35%, they just seem to park the bus and then just, staunchly attack. And attacking the Huddersfield side was on break was a really good idea. They didn't seem to have any answer to it whatsoever, did they? And then they're playing Birmingham. Now, if you look back to the Bolton game, they did roughly the same. Okay, they didn't park the bus and take them on the break. They played from the back and took them on the break. What did they do? They slaughtered them. Well, I think it was a slaughter. In Birmingham's sense, it was. Okay, it wasn't a slaughter, but it's as near as we're going to get. Come on, Birmingham fan. It's as near as we're going to get to a slaughter, isn't it? I mean, there was no other game where you actually knew Birmingham were going to lose this one, except for that one. Perhaps there was one other in the entire season, but this one was the one where you never really thought Birmingham would go and win it, because they played from the back and sprinted through and just took the Birmingham side by shock, and suddenly they're in the box and shooting, and they scored. And Burton can do this. Burton can do this. Now, this is a Burton side that, believe me, I think Burton could win this 2-0. I actually think Burton could win this one 2-0. However, I think that because of that Wembley defeat, this Birmingham side will want to make up for that absolutely tenfold. So I think this is going to be either 2-0 to Burton or 3-0 to Birmingham. I don't see something in the middle. I'm going to go with that Wembley defeat's going to play on their mind, isn't it? I'm going to Burton 0, Birmingham 3. I just think it could be Burton could do this. Burton really could do that. And we're going to go with Cambridge versus Leyton Orient next. And quickly, please, all you subscribers say, please do like and subscribe. Please do stay on and watch, Birmingham fans. I know you're not, but never mind. Leyton Orient in 7th on 66 points, and they're just 3 points behind Reading. They can get this. They've been up there, then they went poorly, then they sort of started to get back again. It's a little bit like the Championship mid-table. It's almost like nobody wants that last 6th position. Do they want to have the playoff place? Cambridge United in 23rd on 35 points. They're almost they're going down, but will they go down with a fight against this Leyton Orient side, or will they not? Cambridge lose, draw, win, lose, and they really did try and get out of it, didn't they? A Barnsley draw, 1-1 away. A Northampton draw, 1-1 at home. A Wrexham draw, 2-2 at home. A Shrewsbury win, 1-0 away. They actually played really well in that last game. Cambridge United 0. Charlton 1, and I was watching it thinking, they keep shooting, but they just can't. They keep shooting, but it was just useless. It was 57% possession to Cambridge. They came out in the second half. They were really pounding this. They were really trying to get back, and they nearly did, but they just couldn't do it. 13 shots, none on target, none in the net, and you think that was just. It was cruel, wasn't it? Cambridge could have and should have come away with a win on that one. but they just didn't do it, and Charlton come away with the points. Leyton Orient, though, win, win, lose, draw, win, win. Lost against Burton 2-1 away. This is a Burton side just able to tip the scales sometimes, remember, and Leyton Orient at the top in the top section of clubs, remember. Wigan won 0-0. That was a draw there. Wigan 0-0. The other time they lost points at home as well. So that was a disappointing game for me. I think that they should have and could have done better than that. I think Crawley 3-1 win last time out. Crawley coming back with a penalty, and then a penalty for Orient to regain the lead, and then they won it Orient on 90 plus 2 minutes 3-1. Leyton Orient then 41% possession, 9 shots, 5 on target. That's pretty good. 9 out of 41. That's not bad either. Three goals from those 5 shots on target. Absolutely good. Brilliant. And you would expect that of a side in that position. So they are now starting to play decent football. We had a blip. And before these 6 games, we certainly had a blip. But they do seem to be getting more consistent than the teams around them. This Leyton Orient side could, I believe, get past Reading. I think that certainly they just seem to have a little bit more consistency for me coming into these last 4 or 5 games. And I think that Cambridge, realistically, they are playing better, but I think that their heads will start to sink. They have really lost it, and they really did try, bless them, and fans, they really did try. That was a really good run-in, and including the Charlton defeat. You could have done it. You really could have got out of that, but everyone else started playing well as well. Crawley started playing well. Burton started playing well. Bristol Rovers started playing better. It was just bad luck. I think that it's going to be Cambridge 0, Leyton Orient 2, and we'll move on. I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin there, isn't it? Crawley versus Exeter next, and we have a Crawley side in 22nd on 36 points. They're 6 points away from Burton and Bristol Rovers in 20th and 21st. Something would have to happen on Good Friday, which is today, to change this thinking. But lose, win, win, lose, lose, lose. Crawley, they have improved a little bit, and I thought when they beat Rotherham 4-0 that they were actually playing quite an awful lot better than what they have been doing. This could, and they beat Bristol Rovers 1-0 the week before, and the game before, and that one should have been more than 1. So you're thinking they could have scored 7 or 8 against Rotherham. And then they scored 3 against Peterborough, but lost 4-3 the game after. And then it just seemed to die out then. 2-3-1 defeats. Stevenage away and Leyton Orient 3-1 defeat at home. That Leyton Orient defeat for Crawley. Crawley, 60% possession, 8 shots. Not great, but 4 of them on target, 1 in the net. That's actually not too bad percentages, really. It's just that... it should have been a draw, but 5 shots for Leyton Orient, 3 in the net was just excellent, wasn't it? So the clinical finishing of that Leyton Orient side was the nail in the coffin. But if you look at the gameplay and you look at how the game was played, you'd think that was a sort of nailed on draw. But I think that Crawley would be disappointed not to have got a point from that. Exeter City, draw, lose, win, lose, draw, win. I think now this Exeter side is sort of plodding around, isn't it? They're probably just changing around and trying a few different things. Injuries, they haven't got a great in-depth squad, so if they have got fatigue or injuries, it's going to be difficult for us, an Exeter side, at this end of the season, to really put out a strong, great side. And seeing as they're on the beach, it's a great time to try out a few different formations and try the kids out. And I think realistically, that's what they're going to be doing in these last, certainly from Easter Monday onwards. Bristol Rovers, Bristol Rovers 1, Exeter 2. Exeter 44% possession, 5 shots, not great. 3 of them on target though, and 2 in the net. So I mean, how do you get such clinical finishing and be in the middle? You know, you should be right to the bloody top for that, shouldn't you? And this Exeter side has been known to do some great comebacks, haven't they? Was it? I've forgotten who the Exeter fan said they were 4-1 down at half time, all ready to go home. And by the end it was 4-4, and I'm thinking it was one of the top sides, wasn't it? And I'm thinking, you know, this Exeter side can carry on playing good, really decent football all the way to the end. Even if it looks like they're being thrashed, they can come back really well. They have the heart to keep on going. And I think that's going to be really important against this side, because Crawley indeed can play really well. But I think that Exeter, that ability and that refusal to that never say die attitude of Exeter, I think will come into force here. I can't see Crawley doing too well. They don't do too badly at home, really, play-wise. Like I said, the Leyton Orient game, they lost 3-1, but they should have got a point there, I think. I'm going to go Crawley 1, Exeter 2, and we'll move on. I think Exeter will just nick that one. Lincoln versus Bolton next, and let's see where they are in the table. Bolton Wanderers, 66 points. They're 3 points behind Reading. However, they've not been doing too well in the games recently, have they? We'll have a look at those in a minute. Lincoln City in 12, 55 points. They're on the beach, and let's have a look at the last games. Lincoln City are at home. Win, draw, lose. Win, draw, draw. Yeah, this is a side that could have done it, could have made it, should have possibly been in the top 6. Their statistics for the season are amazing. Fans of Lincoln, you should be absolutely proud of your side. Those stats are just top 6 finishing all day long. You look at stats for the season, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think Wrexham's aren't too dissimilar, to be quite honest, and it was when you played them, it was like I can't tell the difference between the stats. They're brilliant. Bolton Wanderers, lose, lose, win, win, lose, lose. So the last 2 defeats for Bolton Wanderers were 1-0 at home to Rotherham and 4-1 away at Barnsley, and it should have been more than 4-1 as well. So just not getting that technical bang in the net. Rotherham managed to just defend staunchly for 90% of that game, well, no, 60% of that game, and keep them out. It was just, I mean, somebody said, I think their boss said it was 50 odd shots from 50 odd crosses in from the wings into the box, and it was some stupid number of shots at target. And they still got 0 goals, ridiculous. So Lincoln City last time out 1-1 against Shrewsbury Town, and Lincoln City had 59% possession, 14 shots, pretty good. Pretty good for where they are in the league. If you're going to be in the top 6, probably a couple more shots, which is probably where this has all gone wrong. 2 shots on target, again, that's not good enough for 14 shots. But 2 shots on target, 1 in the net, and you see it for Shrewsbury, 3 shots and 1 in the net. So, that's why it became a 1-1 draw. Got to get more shots, and of those shots, more of them need to be on target. Certainly more need to be on target. So that's that one. Bolton versus Barnsley. Barnsley 4, Bolton 1. And could have been more than that, couldn't it? But Bolton, 56% possession, 12 shots. Yeah, pretty good. 1 on target. Come on, guys. 1 on target, 1 in the net. Great, but 4-1. Look, they did have the never say never die, didn't they? Bolton didn't give up. They did keep going, keep plugging, and they got they got that goal late-ish in the second half, didn't they? So they did say they didn't just give in. So I can't see them giving in and getting thrashed because they gave in the last 4 or 5 games, because that's not the way they play. They always play on the front foot. They always push. As one of the Bolton Wanderers subscribers said to me, always push, so don't write them off against Birmingham. And I stupidly did, and they won by a reasonable amount. So where do I see this one going? Lincoln City, I think, are really sauntering into the end of the season, aren't they? They're probably trying a few things out, having a good look at what they can change. Certainly by Easter Monday, teams will suddenly change. Teams that haven't been trying different things out, Rotherham will suddenly start to bring in a few of the youngsters, suddenly start to bring in a few of the on the bench squad, so that they can have a bit of a game and see how they are for next season. Do they deserve a contract, you see? And this is where the last 4 games come in pretty critical. And I think that's what's realistically going to happen here. Lincoln City at home, I think, will probably score 1 or 2. Bolton Wanderers, they really do have to start picking up here. If they lose this one, if they lose on Friday, which is today, I think that they could be well and truly out of it. But certainly if they lose on against Lincoln, they've got to win one of these 2 games over the Easter weekend. I think that Bolton do have enough here, but I think Lincoln could get a draw. It could be a 1-1. Well, it could be a 2-2 draw. This could be a 2-2 draw, but I'm going to go with Lincoln 1, Bolton 2. But yeah, could be a draw 2-2. We go next to Mansfield. Mansfield versus Reading, and of course Mansfield will have played Rotherham by then. Mansfield are in 18th on 47 points. They need a win realistically to be safe and to be on the beach. Bristol Rovers in 21st are on 42, 5 points behind them. And depending what happens Good Friday, depends on what side this Mansfield Town side puts out. If it wins on Friday, I feel that they're just going to breathe a sigh of relief and say, just go out there and enjoy the football now, guys. And they may not. They may play better actually with the shackles off and just go out there and play football. I can see this Mansfield side Mansfield side just going out and with the shackles off on Monday and saying, we've got the 3 points, we're safe, go out and enjoy it, and actually playing better. They play some really interesting, as Roy would say from our Mansfield subscriber, really pretty football, and of late that pretty football's been added to by a few shots, which they lost when they lost Lee Gregory for the season. Really bad injury that, and I do wish him well. Reading side in 60, it was 6th place, 69 points, just 3 points above Leyton Orient and Bolton, and you think they really do have to do something here, don't they? So last time out then, Mansfield versus Leyton Orient, it was Mansfield 2, Leyton Orient 3, with Leyton Orient winning it in the 69th minute. I thought Mansfield had really managed to get that point and sort of go into this last 5 games with a little bit of impetus, but Leyton Orient managed to pip them. 45% possession to Mansfield, 13 shots, pretty good. 3 on target. Now that's a sort of mid-table ratio. 3 on target, 2 in the net, pretty good. On any other day that would have won the game. But their defence Well, actually, defence was actually really good, because what you've got to remember is Leyton Orient had 55% possession. They reduced Leyton Orient to 7 shots in the entire game and reduced them to just 3 on target, which is really good. Like 3 on target. I mean, okay, it's 3 out of 7 is not very good, but 3 on target they've reduced them to in the entire 90 minutes, which is bloody good. 3 on target, 3 in the net. I mean, how unlucky were Mansfield, realistically speaking? They should have got a point from that. In fact, I think they should have got all 3, but they came away with nothing. Reading 0-0 last time out against Northampton, and Reading, Northampton had McGuinness Walker sent off on 77. So, we're looking at. I never know whether these are one game bans or 3, so you'll have to forgive me. We have Northampton, Reading. Reading 64% possession, 12 shots, 2 on target, none in the net. Both sides had 2 shots on target, none of them went in the net. This was actually, it was just let's have shooting practice from Reading, but not really. They didn't pass that great. Reading, not really. The passing wasn't brilliant. The shooting was a little bit awry and a little bit from the back. Of those 12 shots, only 4 were off target, so 6 were blocked. But it shows you these shots were from outside, tended to be from further away from the box, so they tended to be either blocked or gone too far awry. This Reading side, if they were to try and keep this 6th position, need to get more of those actually from in the box and on target. Can they? Yes, they won Wycombe 1-0. They won Shrewsbury 3-1, but it is Shrewsbury Town. They haven't really played anybody apart from Wycombe, where they won 1-0 at home. From the top sides of late, in the last 6 games, it's just been Wycombe Wanderers. Whereas Mansfield have played Leyton Orient, Huddersfield, Charlton, Bristol Rovers, Barnsley, and Exeter. They've actually had a tougher set of 6 games, haven't they? So I think that it's going to be interesting, this one. I think that Reading will have the edge on Mansfield, but I think Mansfield. There's been some really interesting football around here, and I think that this desire to get into this sort of on the beach status will be way too high at the minute. I just see that Northampton game and think, if Mansfield could learn from this, they could actually come away with something. And I think that disappointment from Leyton Orient is going to play on the minds. They should have got something from that. They really should. 3-2 defeat. I'm going to go for a stranger. I'm going to, against what most of the people on the internet are saying, I'm going to go for Mansfield 1, Reading 0. And that's that game out of the way. Northampton versus Shrewsbury Town next. And Northampton Town are in 19th, 47 points. Shrewsbury Town on the bottom, 24th, 30 points. I think by now we all know where Shrewsbury Town are going. Northampton Town, it's been draw, lose, win against Peterborough 4-0, and they can play football. Wow. Reading 0-0, and again, they just defended really well there. Shrewsbury Town, lose, draw. Last time out, Lincoln City. Well, we went against this, didn't we? The Reading game. They 0-0. They had 36% possession, 9 shots, 2 on target, none in the net. I mean, that's typical of a side where they are. Shrewsbury Town, Lincoln City 0, Lincoln City 1, Shrewsbury Town 1. Everything happened in the first half, and the second half became a bit of a slog. Certainly for Shrewsbury Town, 41% possession, 7 shots, 3 on target, and I think most of those were in the first half. Unfortunately, the second half became backs against the wall against Lincoln City, but they did really well and they didn't concede. So these two sides can probably outplay each other on their day, each one. We know they can. 0-0 against Wycombe for Shrewsbury just a few games ago, and you think, yeah, they can actually defend really well, and that would actually put kibosh on some of Northampton's abilities up front, because they can be a little bit awry. They can be really good. Peterborough 4-0 win, but I think that against this Shrewsbury side, this Northampton side will actually struggle. And I'm going to go with Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 0, because Shrewsbury can play that really good defensive line. Stockport County next, and Stockport versus Huddersfield Town. Stockport are in fourth, 77 points. They're now in the playoffs, and look, they could technically knock out Wrexham, and some people are still saying they will do, and by Monday night they could actually be in second place. Don't think they will, but hey, we can't mark them out, because they've been playing some really good football and they've been very, very consistent indeed. Stockport lose against Wrexham, win against Rotherham 3-1. Huddersfield Town are in ninth, 64 points. 5 points away from Reading. I think by Monday they're either going to be back in the race or they're going to be out of it, I think, depending on what result is on Friday. For Huddersfield, win, lose, lose, win, lose, lose. They really aren't playing very well, are they? Burton catching them on the break every time at 3-0 winners against Huddersfield. Don't like being caught on the break. Stockport aren't really that sort of side, though. And here, I think Huddersfield might be able to do something, because unless Stockport change the way they play and attack Huddersfield on the break and just go whizzing down the wings, I think that Huddersfield may have an answer for them. I just think that this Stockport style of play plays into the hands of Huddersfield, as can be seen by the Burton defeat in the last game for Huddersfield. So Stockport County winners 3-1 against Rotherham. This is because Rotherham allowed them to play their style of play, their normal kind of style of play, which is not really akin to. It's a lot more technical than ours, and a lot more abilities. And we sort of just allowed them to do their thing. 61% possession to Stockport. 16 shots, really good. 7 of them on target, absolutely brilliant. 3 in the net. Superb. Rotherham 40%, 6 shots, 2 on target, 1 in the net. I mean, that's not bad actually for a 40%. Couple more shots would have been good. But Stockport, they just outplayed Rotherham, didn't they? As they have for the last few games. For the different teams. Huddersfield Town last time out 3-0, like I said, against Burton. But when you look at it for Huddersfield's point of view, 65% possession, 5 shots, ouch, none on target. Burton parking the bus and taking them on the break. I just think that that just shows you where or how to beat this Huddersfield side. But can Stockport play like that? I don't think they can. I think this could be a 1-0 win to Huddersfield. It absolutely could. However, I think it's either going to be a 3-0 win to Stockport or a 1-0 win to Huddersfield. So which way do I go, guys? I'm going to go home. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Stockport. I'm going to go with Stockport 3, Huddersfield 0. I just think that they have two. I think that they will change. I think that they will take them on the break. I think they'll take them on the break. They know that look, it's too. If it's obvious to me, it's obvious to the management. They have good management. They will do what they need to do to win this game. But Huddersfield, if they don't, I can see a sneaky win for Huddersfield. Wigan versus Rotherham next, and Wigan lose, draw, and Wigan are in 17th, 47 points. They're 5 points ahead of Bristol Rovers. They just need a win or point. A point might be enough just to make sure they're safe. Probably will be. Yeah, a point would probably be enough by Monday. And they're playing a Rotherham side. Obviously, changed managers. All of a sudden, we decide to train our players during the week instead of giving them 15 minutes training on a Monday. And guess what? We start winning games. My God, who would have thought that? Lose, then change manager, win, lose against Stockport County. We just covered the Stockport County game. Rather than just let them play. Yeah, they didn't shoot too many times, but they have a pretty decent ratio there. They can score, they can shoot now, and they can actually play football. Wigan Athletic last time out, Wrexham 0-0. What a game! What a game that was, and. Wigan 42% possession, 6 shots, yeah, a little bit low, but 2 on target. A couple more shots, and I think that they would have got that extra goal. This was actually a bit of a bore. There was actually a bore draw. Believe it or not, it was a bore draw. 4 shots out of the 58% possession for Wrexham, none on target. 3 off target. The only shot they had at target was blocked. For Wrexham, Wigan 6 shots, 2 on target, 2 blocked, 2 off target. They were playing decent-ish football, but this was one of those strange. I mean, you wouldn't think you wouldn't call a bore draw with Wrexham in it. However, it was. And that sort of worries me. Yes, there's injuries around with the Wrexham squad. But I do think that that they've got depth in that squad. I think. So I think it's going to be a hard one. I think Rotherham can win this one. I think they probably will. Their tails are in the air. They're really playing well. I think that it's going to be Wigan 0, Rotherham 2, and we will move on. So there we go, Wycombe versus Charlton next, and Wycombe are in 3rd on 81 points. Charlton are in 5th on 76 points, and it's an interesting game. We have 2 teams at the top looking. This could be a final of the playoffs, couldn't it? So we'll go into this one. Wycombe Wanderers last time out did really well against Stevenage, really good, lots of shots. They really should have done more, probably 15 shots, 4 on target, 1 in the net. Should have more on target would be good. They've not been really hitting it for me. They've been a little bit fatigued against a Charlton side that have been doing really well. Win, lose, win, draw, win. Against Wycombe's win, draw, lose, win. Very similar statistics, but I think that Charlton have been playing some damn good football and really technical with it. Cambridge win 1-0, and realistically, Cambridge, they reduced Cambridge to 0 shots on target, and they had 13 shots at that, which is really good for Charlton. 43% possession, 10 shots, 6 on target, 1 in the net. Not quite as clinical as they usually are, Charlton, up front there. I think that Charlton do have the edge here, and I just think that Charlton's clinical abilities are a little bit better than the Wycombe side. I'm going to go with Wycombe 0, Charlton 1. Please do like and subscribe to John Esse's Sports Channel. Thank you for watching. Over and out.